What's going on, everybody? Dr. Chris Featherstone here for yet another episode of the Legion of Raw. Before we go and I introduce my guy, I want to I was reminded before I forget, look, man, we've tomorrow, do not miss Bill Apter and I on Unscripted, and we're going to have a lawyer join us to discuss the Vince McMahon goings on. So do not miss that. It's going to be really good. We're going to get some legal commentary with the lawyer tomorrow regarding that case. So it should be really fun. Vince Russo, how are you, my man?
What is going on, Dr. Chris? How are you, bro?
I'm doing okay, man. I'm doing okay. Yeah, man. I'm not sure how you feel about this week, but I think it was a different vibe to me. Like it wasn't, it wasn't amazing, but I definitely think it was a better Raw than normal. There were definitely some high spots that I'm gonna put over throughout the nights, and I think it was a step up this week, man. What do you think?
I'm gonna love to hear your opinion on that.
Okay, yeah,
because sure. Outside of two things that were not planned, that were fixes, you can throw the rest of the show in the garbage.
Okay.
I mean, we had the Punk in ring with Drew McIntyre, and obviously that is a fix because Punk's not going to be able to be at WrestleMania now.
Yep.
So that was a good promo by Punk. I think Drew had a great line when he said, "I prayed for this to happen." You got some really good heel heat on Drew. Then the second fix had to come with Cody and Seth Rollins, because now they got to switch gears, bro. Look at what they're look at the talk about damage control. This is damage control, bro, times 1 billion, because we saw two things on this show very clear. McAfee is back in the announce booth.
Yep.
And it looks like now we are going to have Roman Reigns and The Rock, which after all that stuff went down with Vince, 1000% we got to get The Rock on WrestleMania. So everybody. So my thing is, Chris, aside from those two segments, man, I would love to know what you thought was good.
There's a few things. I thought that the opener was good. I like the Punk promo. And I've been very vocal over the years that I'm not a big Punk fan at all. Actually, never really have been. And he's fell a little flat since he's been there the past couple months, and there was just something that was missing to me. But I think this was a good promo for him. It's on the way out for 4 to 6 months, so that's unfortunate to have this type of good promo finally, deliver some genuineness and authenticity with the really good promo. This is his best promo in the past 2 months, and he's heading out. So, but I do like the write off though. Drew's line was really good. It got heat for Drew, and I think it was a good way to get heat on Drew. So I like the opener says. I like the opening.
Yeah, no, I put over the pro. Listen, bro. I'm gonna be honest. Well, first of all, a couple of things. Everything you said, I agree with. I'm getting a little tired, bro, of every freaking male wrestler crying in the ring. Like seriously, when I talk about the Marks have made it to the ring, this is what I'm talking about, bro. He's crying, Cody's crying. Guys, get over it, bro. Like seriously, this is make believe BS. I actually watched the Royal Rumble it's in its entirety, and then I actually watched parts of the scrum. And you got Cody Rhodes talking on this scrum like, "Oh, I beat this guy, and then I beat that guy," and then like, bro, and then the next question is about Vince McMahon, and I'm like, bro, like, what? I don't know what world bro. Once in a while, you will see an athlete break down at a press conference. Once in a while. Guys are crying every freaking week on Raw, and like Punk's crying. Then Cody comes back later on. He's choking up. It's like, my God. And then, bro, like, I'm sorry. I agree with you, Chris, but this was a good promo. But then Sami Zayn, I don't know what was worse, bro. Sami Zayn number 30 in the Rumble. Or Sami Zayn coming out here to book a main event at the end of the night. I don't know, bro. Like, come on. The dude's a good little hand. That's what he is, bro. That's his role. That's what he is. That's what any casual fan will tell you.
Yeah.
And man, when he came out 30th in the Rumble, and then he comes out in this spot, and then he takes Drew McIntyre 25 minutes. Come on, guys. Like, really, bro?
Yeah, I told you Sami Zayn was going to make a return back and get a pop at Royal Rumble. I knew it. He took some time off. There was nothing to do with him, and they wanted to give him a little break just so he can get some return pop because he's been gone a few weeks. I knew that was going to happen. People was like, The Rock. I'm like, no, The Rock's not going to be the Royal Rumble. And as soon as that all the 29 came, that 30 spot, I said, I bet you it was Sami Zayn. I knew it was Sami Zayn, and he came out. I knew it was going to be.
Bro, you know what the whole weekend was? Because I watched the Royal Rumble, and then I watched Raw. Bro, it's like they've got a card made, and they're just slotting the people in that they want. Like, I mean, bro, the company wants Io Sky and Bayley.
Yeah.
Well, bro, who cares about that? Like, who is going to watch the Royal Rumble to see Io Sky and Bayley?
Here's the thing, Vince. I think at the end of the day, I know that you're a casual fan, and I'm a bridge fan. I'm not a hardcore fan by any means. I watch Raw. Raw is actually the only show that I watch in its entirety, and so I keep my hand on the pulse just as a journalist and as an anchor. But at the same time, I'm like a bridge fan. I wouldn't call myself casual. I'm definitely not a hardcore fan. At the end of the day, Vince, I think what they're understanding, what they've came to a conclusion is they're not looking to bring casuals in anymore. And like that's not, I can tell that that's not WWE's mission anymore. From a business, I'm a business guy. I'm never going to understand that. Like, as a businessman, I'm never going to understand that logic. But it seems as if that is definitely not their intent anymore.
But Chris, here's the problem with that. If we're going to talk business, here's the problem with that. Bro, Peacock is still expecting them to bring in new subscribers.
Yeah.
That's the problem with that, bro. If that number, if they never grow the audience and that number remains stagnant, the same thing is going to happen on Peacock that happened with Fox. Yeah. And bro, it's the same thing with Netflix. Maybe ratings don't matter anymore. You better believe for $5 billion, WWE is going to have to get Netflix new subscribers. Who are those new subscribers, Chris? They're the casual fans that we're talking about. Chris, I'll give you the perfect example. Hey, this is it in a nutshell. Bro, I watched the Royal Rumble this week. Well, first of all, I didn't have any other plans. That's number one. Number two, Chris, as a shoot, there was enough intrigue there for me because you and I heard Punk saying over and over and over, I'm going to win the Rumble. I'm going to win the Rumble. I'm going to win the Rumble. And I'm like, are they really not going to put? So there was enough intrigue for me to watch it as a casual fan. That's why when I talk about, okay, bro, you're going to book Io Sky and Bayley. That's supposed to get me to want to see it badly enough to subscribe to, because like I said, bro, that's the bottom line. You got to look at Peacock. You got to look at Netflix. You got to look at the partners. Otherwise, it's going to turn into a Fox deal.
That's true. But here's the thing with that, Vince, and you watch the scrums. I watch the scrums because it's good to know about these things as far as commenting on them. It is super easy for Triple H every single time. I've been to one of those scrums live, and it's so easy for Triple H every time to talk about record numbers. And we've never had these numbers before. And it's been so many viewers, and it's been the most of ever. And that's, from a business standpoint, that's their pitch. That's where they're going to sell Netflix that. They're selling Peacocks that. If you think about it, they are Raw or USA, their numbers weren't the pitch to Netflix. That wasn't the pitch, because that's embarrassing. Like, you're getting between a 1.5 and a 1.8 every single week. One thing that they not going to pitch is the fact that we were successful on USA. No. That's not what their pitch is. Their pitch is, look at YouTube numbers. Look at YouTube numbers. Since we're in the digital media world, we're having 20-something million, from The Rock return. This amount of million from CM Punk's return. So you could tell that television network was definitely not their pitch for Netflix. It was definitely the digital media numbers, and the digital media numbers will continue to stay up.
Yeah, I agree, but I'm just going to get back to Netflix could care less about WWE's digital media numbers. At the end of the day, when you're giving them that $5 billion, bro, that money better come back to you.
I agree, and I agree with that too. I do think that their pitch will continue to be that digital media. Look what we can bring in.
I agree.
What we can bring you.
I agree 100%.
And all these numbers, what I mean? So that's what they're going to plug with them, the streaming numbers.
Agreed.
All right, let's go through all of these super chats. Thanks, SK Nation, man. The super chatters are loading up. We got Zubair, $2 super chat, bro. Punk and Seth injured, Lesnar gone, WM40 curse. Seth is going to compete, so he'll be there. Punk gone, but here's the thing, man. Let's talk about Lesnar, since Zubair brought it up. So lots of rumors and innuendo coming as far as the news is concerned. So Lesnar was supposed to be rumored to be a part of the Rumble, but because of his alleged involvement in the McMahon saga, they pulled him away from the Rumble. Now, he might not even have the spot. So I was right about the rumor. I was right about the match that I booked with Lesnar and Gunther. It looks like that was the plan. And so they pulled him away from Rumble, and they said that Braun Breaker was the replacement, which I don't necessarily agree with. It could have been the case, but him getting Dominic eliminated Braun. So that means Dominic would have eliminated Lesnar, and then they were talking about Lesnar and Dominic could have been for Australia, leading into Lesnar and Gunther. So there was a lot of rumors with that. I take it with a grain of salt, but Lesnar Gunther might be pulled off, or he might have to come February. Do you think Lesnar is out of WrestleMania, or do you think he should be?
Yeah. Well, bro, listen, we said it months and months and months ago. We saw crystal clear that Ari Emanuel was trying to distance himself from Vince McMahon. And I said it then, bro, there's more coming down the pike that Ari knows about. Mm-hmm. And they need to, and he was doing that. Bro, I believe with Ari, anybody who is a suspect, whose name gets brought up, who is anywhere close to this, he is not going to have anything to do with. And even if the person gets totally cleared, it's going to be at least another 6 months after that.
Sure.
That's my belief.
Yeah. Here's my question about that, Vince. Do you think, and this is just your opinion, so, no one drag this and get all butthurt about it. Do you think that Ari knew absolutely nothing about Vince McMahon and Vince McMahon's potential to be a little bit on the wild side? The post interview right after the announcement, I think it was on CNBC or something around there. Like, they were talking about how buddy they were and how they met each other and how they've been good friends and things like that. Do you think that Ari Emanuel was totally out the loop of what Vince McMahon could be like.
To this extent, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's, and bro, that dude is not gonna put his reputation on the line if he knew, like, the NDAs, fooling around with women and stuff like that. Like, that's one thing.
Mhm.
I don't think he had any idea, bro.
Hmm.
Bro, I'll never forget, Chris. I swear, I will never forget this. And I've never really brought it up because there's really been no reason to, but. Bro, I remember sitting at Vince's living room table. It was just him and I.
Mhm.
And bro, I swear, he looked at me in the eye. Bro, we're talking like now anywhere between like 97 and 99, whatever. He looked at me in the eye and he said to me, he said, Vince, if you knew who I really was, you would not like me.
Hmm.
That's what he said. And I'll be honest with you, Chris, I didn't go down that road because I didn't want to know who he really was.
Sure.
I didn't want to hear. I'm here to freaking write TV.
Yeah.
Whatever you do, like you do. But man, that's 25 years ago, and he said something like that to me. And bro, there's no way Ari was gonna play with that fire. I mean, no way, bro.
Yeah. It's just, man, look, if Ari knew nothing, and he could have known nothing. And look, if he knew nothing, Vince McMahon is he's as mischievous as you thought he was, man. So, he's good to know how to put a poker face on when it comes to business. Clearly, if Ari Emanuel knew nothing about anything involving Vince McMahon. And here's the thing: when there's smoke, there's fire, man. Right. So, if we know this much with this small pocket of allegations, there's usually a shed full of them, that's just locked up.
Chris, not only that, there doesn't even need to be fire. There's smoke, bro.
Yes.
If there's smoke is there for a reason.
Correct.
I mean, Chris, come on. All of a sudden, I'm not going to go run in my kitchen and there's smoke. No, bro. Smoke is there for a reason. So the fact that there's smoke, you got a problem.
That's right. I mean, that's my point. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. If you see a little bit, there's usually a lot that caused a little. That's more than a little bit that you see. It's kind of like the iceberg effect. You know what I mean? It's like you see that little bit of something, but that's just a tip of what's way below.
Now, if you ask me, did people inside the company know the details? Absolutely, without a doubt, yes. No question about it, bro. And people inside knew, and they turned a blind eye to it.
Why didn't nobody speak up, in your opinion? Why did it have to take Janelle Grant, who signed an NDA, who basically there's a clause within the NDA that causes someone to be able to break the NBA based on it doesn't protect any type of sexual act, criminal sexual act, and so she was able to breach it. And so here's my thing, man. If this is what we see from Janelle allegedly, and based on the allegations, Lesnar's in this, Laurinaitis is in this. And again, there's more talent potentially. And this was she was used as a calling card in a sense, an extra initiative to re-sign Brock. It's just like, man, if you think about, like, if this was just one, and again, where there's smoke, there's fire. If this isn't a one-off, if this is true, most likely, you know what I mean? Of course, we innocent until proven guilty. I told you many of this before, being in forensics, being in criminology. I get it. I understand the court of law, I understand the legal system, innocent until proven guilty. If these allegations are true, man, I think you just, there's a investigative reporter that is just waiting, twiddling their fingers, waiting to keep digging and to have more, where that came from. So, as you said, man, I don't think that if these allegations are true, I think that there will be reporters that would be willing to dig more to build.
Bro, I already got contacted by NBC today.
Really?
I was watching Raw. I got a cold. Yeah. So I was pretty much laid out all day. So I was watching Raw. I came to check my email, and there was an email from somebody from NBC. So yeah, bro,
they're ready. They're ready for.
Well, you know what the funny thing is, though, Chris, you asked the question, and man, let's get into let's use your psychology and let's use that, because this is what cracks me up the most. You mentioned, like, why didn't anybody else come forward? Why, bro, it cracks me up that I'm sitting back and I'm watching everything, and bro, none of the boys, whether they're active or retired, are saying a damn thing. Why? Because, bro, they still fear Vince. Yeah. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, bro, what in the world could Vince McMahon possibly do to you now? He's done, bro. Yeah. Guilty, innocent, he's finished. But, bro, nobody in the industry will speak up because they still fear him.
Yeah, man, it's mind control, man. It's that cult-like. Vince McMahon is akin to a cult leader when it comes to that, man. I teach cult psychology, and I'm well versed in understanding that. It's just someone who has such a mental grip over you that the person could even be dead, and you still fear that person because of that grip that they have on you. That your eternity. It becomes very apocalyptic. Like your life and death depends on the say-so or the judgment of that person. And that person has carved out such a path for you that usually love bombing and usually this big old promise starts and then it brings you in. And then you have the tyrannical leader that's saying, since you're in the group, the end group, now it's hard for you to dissociate yourself from that. Then you get groupthink that comes in, you get the sunk cost effect that comes in, you get all those phenomena that comes in when it comes to that cult-like following, the cult-like group. But the problem is that tyrant, that narcissistic megalomaniac usually says, basically their mind is, now since I got you, and I've massaged your mind enough to gain that control, then I'll be very aggressive and overt toward you to the point of you're in. I mean, you've been a part. You've been a victim of the grip, so to speak, and it's hard to get out of that stuff. Mentally, bro, it's hard to get out of it.
It's so funny because what you're describing there, bro, is every single person that gets out of Scientology.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
That's the exact hear that Leah Remini. Yep. That is the story you hear over and over and over again.
Yeah. Scientology is a great example of that. Yeah. Let's see here. We got Zook Bear, $5. Man, the Rumble pay-per-view sucked. Also, the Rumble matches exposed how much the show lacks star power and exposed why the future is dead to be excited. Personally, I wasn't a big fan of the men's Royal Rumble match. I really liked the women's Royal Rumble match, though. I think the women's Royal Rumble match, say that fast 10 times. I think that it sold the show. Everything else was okay to me. It wasn't spectacular, but I really liked the women's Royal Rumble match, though. So that's my thoughts on it. What about you, Vince?
Yeah, I felt the same. Like I said, exactly what Zubair said, bro. They know who's going where. Yeah. So, they wanted Bayley. Yeah, bro, I think Bayley went out for a couple of reasons. I think number one, they wanted Bayley and Ione Sky, whatever her name is. And I think number 2 is they really wanted to reward Bayley. That's what Triple H made that clear.
Yeah.
At the press, and I get that, bro. I really do, bro. I really, really, really get that.
Yeah.
And then, bro, you got Cody, winning it for the 2nd year in a row. Sami Zayn's number 30. No surprises. Andrade, like that. No, just very okay, bro. Here's where we're going. Let's just get there. That's what this whole period feels like to me.
Yeah, I same sentiments, man. I share those same sentiments with the Men's Royal. There was just nothing exciting about it. I mean, like, no, I just didn't do it.
My God, Paige was in town. You know what I'm saying? Paige was at the. Give me something.
Yeah, he was at the Scrum. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Give me something, bro.
I agree, man. There could have been a bunch of different choices. And like I said before, when it comes to the Rumble, like, come on, man. I mean, there's 30 people in every single year since its inception, over 35 years ago. Every single year, there's only a handful less of people out of the 30 that has a chance of winning. Right. So why not give us exciting countdown people? You know what I mean? Right. Like that's the cool part of the Royal Rumble. And Maven, kudos to Maven, man. He did a really good video. I actually years ago interviewed I've interviewed Rico Constantino a bunch of times. He's actually a good friend of mine. But we did the kind of like the breaking the fourth wall some years ago on my Pancakes and Power Slam show. He was giving people the ins and outs of the Royal Rumble and how wrestlers are supposed to look at the spots. It's basically another version of what Maven did. Maven did a really good job writing on the whiteboard. Rico talked about that a few years ago on my show. And it was cool to see that, be reminded of that with Maven based on my interview with Rico. And I think it's really cool to see that. And that, to me, when I'm looking at that, it makes the surprise entrant even better, because if you look at it from a nuanced perspective, they do the pan for the countdown, and then you can tell everybody's clearing out in their corners. Just Jade Cargill was just kind of sitting there for several minutes. Cody was just kind of leaning back in a corner for a little bit. So you could tell that when Nia was there, she cleaned house, and then they did the countdown. You can tell that she knew her spot there.
Yeah, you could see it every time, bro. You could see there was such a pattern to this whole thing. Yeah. And bro, I'll tell you what lacks too, man. Believe it or not, bro. You got what they have? How many? 40,000? Is that
48?
48,000 people, bro. A lot of these 48,000 people are not watching the show every week.
Correct.
So one thing that's missing too, bro, is, when you're hitting the music for half these people, they don't know who it is. Bro, I swear to God, Francis LaRue, bro, you could have heard a pin drop.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, the music has a lot to do with that, because, bro, they were hitting the music cues. I didn't know whose music that was, and I watch the show every week. Yeah,
that's a really good point. And it's funny because the 30s always it's one of the most anticipated, entrants. And, you can have a really, anticipated entry, or you can have a really dead one, like who was it? Was it Mysterio the year that I think the year that Roman won? And man, they wanted Daniel Bryan to win that year so much. And even one of the biggest baby faces of all time, Mysterio, gets the 30 spot and gets booed, and so it's in a really interesting spot. And so when 30 came out for the women's, I was like, when the first part came, because I'm really big in trivia and I like theme songs like that and to guess them. And I was like, who is this? I was like, is that Alexa Bliss? Is that? And then all of a sudden, when the bass drop, I was like, oh, Liv Morgan. I was just like,
I had no idea.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, yeah. All right, let's. We got some more here. We got Zubair, $5. Y'all agree the modern wrestling style is why wrestlers are getting injured? Plus, thoughts Smart saying the roster is stacked and like the Attitude Era. What do you think, Vince?
So Smart saying the roster is stacked, and I don't understand. What is he saying, Chris? I don't understand.
He's saying that smart marks are saying, like, what are your thoughts on a smart mark saying that the roster is stacked and they're comparing it to the Attitude Era?
Well, yeah, bro, I heard Triple H compared it to the
Yeah.
Attitude Era. First of all, bro, I think a lot of wrestlers are getting injured for two reasons. Number one is the style, and Chris, I'm sorry, bro, we got to start looking at the age.
Yeah, fair.
We got to start looking at the age. Are you kidding me? Like, bro, Chris, how old is Punk?
He's born in 78, so he'll be 46 this year.
46. How freaking long was that guy in there?
Yeah.
He's 46, people. Yeah. He's 46. He's not 36. He's 46. Yeah. I think age, the way they're working, and yeah, bro, the roster is stacked with people. That's who it's stacked with. It ain't stacked with stars, bro. It's stacked with people.
Yeah, that's fair to say. We got Zubair, $10. Thoughts on Raw moving to Netflix? Absolutely don't like the idea of a once great TV show being diluted to a streaming site, and it just goes to show if current Raw is bad, watch next year's gets worse. I'm fine with it moving to Netflix. I mean, it's a part of the time. Cable television is getting more passe by the year. You know, I mean, from a business standpoint, the current trend when it comes to television viewership is streaming. I mean, streaming is the way to go as far as the wave. And so, USA Network isn't really making much noise elsewhere. They don't have like major sports games. They have shows, but it's just a loyalty that they've had with USA Network for so long. So I'm fine with it, man. I'm fine with it going to Netflix. So plus, you have Netflix and, still being a parent company in the USA, and them still have an affiliation there. So it's kind of like still owned by the same parent company, but they're just moving over to streaming.
Chris, I'm going to tell you a very interesting story because I really wonder how this comes into play. Okay? Because, bro, we've got to understand Raw has been free for 30 years, whatever it is. It's been free. Okay? Now, Chris, I'm going to tell you what the
you mean free. Well, cable television.
Yeah, well, but you're not paying for the one show.
No,
when you're paying for cable, you're paying for cable. You're not paying for
similar to streaming networks.
Yeah. So, bro, it's interesting to me because, bro, here in Colorado, Chris, about a year ago, you don't get it. If you want to use a plastic bag at a supermarket, you got to pay a dime for the bag, a dime. So, bro, people in Colorado were like, "Oh, I've been getting the bag free my whole entire life. I'm not paying a dime for a bag." So, bro, they bring their own bags. Yeah. They literally, bro, people won't pay a dime for a plastic bag because it was always free.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, bro, what is the percentage of the people who say, "Bro, I've gotten this free for the last 30 years. I ain't starting to pay for this now"?
You know what's so funny about that, Vince, is that I was buying my goddaughter a gift. Her birthday was last week, and I was at Giant Eagle and got her a really nice plush doll. And to your point, I was scanning the plush dog, and there's a brown paper bag. I'm like, who does brown paper bags nowadays? But sure, I'll grab one, right? And so as I was scanning the plush dog, it's like, do you want a reusable bag? And I looked on the screen and it said reusable bag, 5 cents. I'm like, no. And I took the receipt and I took the plush doll and I walked my butt over to my truck.
Chris, my dad's 93 years old. He lives in Ocala, Florida. He came to visit us. Like his last visit here, we went to a department store. Mm-hmm. So he went up, he paid whatever it was. Bro, he looked at his receipt. He saw a charge 10 cents for the bag. He didn't know. Bro, he went back online and got his dog back.
Yes.
That's why I'm saying, bro. Bro, Netflix is what, $12.99?
I'll pay about $17 a month.
Yeah. I'm just curious how many of those people are out there, bro.
Yeah. We have Summer Williams. I think that's a new super chat. Thank you very much. Hi guys, I wanted to know you guys on Naomi returning, and what do you think they might do with her now that she's back? That's a good question. I like Naomi. I like Naomi. I mean, I don't see much of anything different than what they're doing with the rest of the women. Honestly, I don't see anything.
The only thing is, unless somehow, some way they tie her into the bloodline. But if you ask me, to me that bloodline's been dead for months now. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's being a part of a pickup game that's long gone.
I agree. I agree with that, Chris.
So, Zubair, $5 super chat. Also apologize from last week and at times for lack of proper grammar sentences due to being limited on super chat words. Anyways, take this tip. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. We got Summer back, $4.99. And also want to know that you guys, what you guys be interested in watching Bianca Montez's new reality coming out next month. Yeah, I would definitely.
Yeah, I would definitely be interested in doing that, bro. Because like I said, man, I've seen Bianca as herself, and she's a very, very likable person. So yeah, I would be interested in seeing that.
Yeah, I like it. Zubair, $5. Thoughts on Kerr McMahon scandal? Believes he's not guilty due to I think consensual, I think he meant to say relationship up until Miss Grant not getting paid. I'm sure that we talked about this and stay tuned. We talked about this in great detail. Vince, myself, and EC3, we talked about this in great detail on our show, The Wrestling Outlaws, which will be coming out here very soon. So I'm going to park my thoughts to have them watch that. Do you have anything to share on this, Vince?
I think what happened, I think a lot of people are not are kind of passing this by. Bro, I think what happened is, remember when the story first broke months and months and months ago to the Wall Street Journal with all those NDAs and everybody else, and it was broken by a friend of a friend. Remember all that stuff? Yep. When the story was broken? Mm-hmm. Bro, my belief is she's the one that leaked the story. Mm. And when she leaked the story, in Vince's mind, you leaked the story, you broke the NDA, I'm not paying you anymore. Mm. I think that's what happened, bro. I think she was the one that originally broke the story, and he stopped paying her because of that.
Man, I think you missed your calling, Vince. I think you should be some type of crime sleuth.
I got to tell you this, Chris, too. I got to tell you this, bro. I wanted to, the championship games were on yesterday, right? And, bro, I can't watch football unless I got skin in the game. And, Chris, like, I'm a $5 bettor. You know what I mean? I'm not a crazy bet, but I got to have something on the game. Mm-hmm. And bro, I go the last minute to fantasy DraftKings. I think it is DraftKings last minute. And I see that the Chiefs are freaking underdogs. Huh. And I'm like, bro, this is free money. There's no way Taylor Swift was not going to the Super Bowl. There's no way, bro. Do you know what that is worth to that network to show her every time? When I saw the Chiefs were underdogs, I'm like, bro, no way they're going to be allowed to lose this game.
Did you hear that she's brought over $330 million to the team?
Oh, absolutely, bro. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. That's why they're going to win the Super Bowl.
I wouldn't surprise me one bit, man. Not one bit. Let's see here. We got we talked about that scandal. Cliffside, $4.99 super chat.
I never get invited to WrestleMania, Cliff. They never invite me.
Will we finally get the Russo Dr. Chris in-person collab during WrestleMania season? Is Sportskeeda waiting for sponsors or something?
Yeah, Cliff, they nickel and dime me every year, and I tell them, hey, listen, I'm open to it, but you got to get serious. We don't freaking my life is on the line if I go to WrestleMania.
Yeah,
seriously, bro, are you kidding me?
Vince, it's clear that I'm going to have to get a little bit of money under the table from you to play your to be your security guard for the weekend.
Yeah, man.
You're going to get so much heat.
and then I never go out in public. I never do these things, but I'm open to doing with Sportskeeda. Then it comes down to it, and they nickel and dime me, and I'm like, guys, like seriously, man.
I'm game for it. If DDP can be on the scrum and ask his boy Cody Rhodes a question, Vince Russo could be on the scrum to ask Triple H a question. However, it's very clear that Triple H is going to sidestep your questions, just like he sidestepped the Vince McMahon question.
Bro, I gotta be honest with you. I'm taking Triple H's side on this. What did they think he was gonna say? He can't say anything, bro. And if he would have admitted to reading the lawsuit, then that opens up a whole other Pandora's box. Well, what do you think about this? I don't know what people expected him to say.
I think here's my thing, Vince. I think that a lot of and I think it's a fair critique that a lot of people thought that he was just tone deaf. I thought that a lot of people thought that he was just tone deaf. I think that, here's the thing. The wrestling crowd and the wrestling audience, they're focusing on the McMahon scandal above everything else right now. So to completely sidestep it, I think Cody did a really good job answering the questions. I think that he looked more like an executive doing that scrum than Triple H did. And I think, he was honest. He said, we knew about it just like, just when y'all found out and, but Triple H just completely sidestepped, the questions and said, well, let's focus on the good stuff. I think a lot of people were like, come on now, for the sake of the potential victims here, if this is truly sex trafficking, I think to sidestep the fact that this person who's the head of your company is allegedly doing so much crazy stuff, acknowledge it. Because here's the thing, Vince, I'm a PR guy. Like my undergrad degree's in PR. If I was his agent, I would have told him that was not a good call to do that, because to sidestep it is it's more of a backlash from the public eye than to at least acknowledge it and say, it happened, the allegations, I think it's fair to go through the law. If they're true, I definitely think it totally made sense. The fact that people have this toward Vince McMahon, and I'm sorry for the potential victims that came along the way. Something like that from a PR standpoint.
Chris, here's the difference between Cody Rhodes and Triple H. He's going to get subpoenaed, and he knows he's going to get subpoenaed. And if he knows he's going to get subpoenaed, and the WWE knows, and Ari knows, and TKO knows, and everybody knows, because, bro, he's mentioned in that lawsuit. He's just not mentioned by name.
Yeah.
But when she's talking about the titles, she's talking about Triple H. So he is going to get subpoenaed. And if he's going to get subpoenaed, bro, he ain't going to say nothing.
And that makes sense. But at the same time, you can still Triple H could have said exactly what Cody Rhodes said, and it wouldn't have been held against him in court, because how Cody Rhodes answered it did not make him look tone deaf. Like how Triple H answered it made him look tone deaf. And as an executive, as someone in a leadership role in a company, to sidestep it, again, it goes back to the PR from a legal standpoint. It goes back to the PR. Yes, don't say nothing that's admissible in court that's going to hurt the case, of course. But at the same time, do say, I do think it would have been a better PR move if the acknowledgement of the fact that it's fair to go through go through the proper channels and the proper process right now. I do understand that if this goes through and there is some guilt, at the end of the day, justice will be served. Something to that point. But just to continue just to completely sidestep it, man. I think that's one his biggest critique. So
I got a better idea if you stop doing these stupid scrums, bro.
I mean, that's what it
then
boils
you don't
down
have to worry about it.
that's what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Let's see here. I mean, and and to the point, I imagine, to your point, Vince, lawyers are like, I mean, he's lawyered up, of course, and lawyers are like, don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say anything. And I understand that from a legal standpoint too, but at the same time, as much as these people need lawyers, they need PR agents, because at the end of the day, even if this continues to go to Vince McMahon's favor, if he continues to sidestep, that's still a bad look for the company as a whole from a public opinion standpoint. So it's a fine line, man. It's a fine balance of how much do I say, but do I completely sidestep it? It's definitely a fine line between that, to be fair. Summer Williams 999 super chat. And my last question, do you think Sasha is going to come back, or do you think she's happy where she's at and what she's doing now? I didn't expect Naomi to come back. I did expect Naomi to come back. TNA was just, it was a way. It was like a Drew thing. Like same thing with Drew. I mean, kudos to her. Drew did the same thing. Gender, to a degree. I mean, in the Indies, he didn't do too much, but Drew definitely did it. He got let go. He made a brand of himself, and he came back. The Hardys did that too, especially Matt Hardy. And Naomi did the same thing. Trinity, she went to TNA. She became champion. She made a stronger brand of herself to be a more negotiable name, from when she left. And so I'm cool with it, man. Kudos to her. As far as Sasha's concerned, I mean, what do you think, Vince?
I don't know, bro. If they didn't bring it back for the Rumble, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I think that would have been the spot, no?
But look, I'm not there in the room when Sasha negotiates, but it seems like she can be a bit hard a bit stubborn when it comes to negotiations. And I wouldn't be surprised if she was like, if I come back, I'm expecting to win the Royal Rumble, right? No, you're going to get eliminated. I mean, I think I might have to pull back. And could that be and look, you got to bet on yourself, man. So I don't blame her for that stuff when it comes to negotiations. Got to bet on yourself. And a lot of times when you say no, it just increases your dollar amount. You take the risk of them just pulling back completely, or them saying, hey, your dollar amount's increasing and we're going to give you what you want. So you got to bet on yourself. Zubair, $5. Why fans so eager to believe McMahon is guilty, all because they have a weird hatred to him and want him gone, and believe WWE would be better. Continue next. What do you think?
I just think, bro, the allegations and what has come out with these text messages and the stories is so shocking that people want him fried. Whether he's innocent until proven guilty. The stories themselves are just so vile. Like I think that's the real reason. But again, bro, you got to let this process. Yeah, you got to let this process happen, bro. But the thing is, Chris, like, bro, you can, obviously, bro, they're gonna, prove their case and whatnot, bro. You can get everybody, anybody's phone, bro. You could pull up every text message. They're gonna get Vince's phone records.
Yeah, even if they're deleted.
Yeah, even if they're deleted. So without a shadow of a doubt, they're going to know whether or not these text messages came from Vince's phone. And she's got to be pretty stupid, bro, if she made them up, knowing they're going to subpoena, they're going to get Vince's phone. But then, Chris, I think about this. Think about this, bro. You say I'm the super sleuth. If all this stuff is going on and she just had a night with Vince or whatever the case may be, and Vince, 75-year-old Vince is freaking dead asleep in the bed. Bro, all she's got to do is pick up Vince's phone, send these text messages to herself, and then delete the You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, bro, like, I'm telling you, bro, we're talking about a 77-year-old man. She could have been setting him up. She could have been knowing all this. And now, bro, because, bro, to me, if she's putting those text messages in the lawsuit, they came from his phone. Is he ever going to be able to prove that I didn't type that in? Yeah. How is he ever going to prove that?
He's not. I'm thinking about, things from a forensic perspective. And, that's one of those things that it's like, man, you can't just say, oh, I didn't do it. I mean, you have to prove that you didn't do it. I mean, that's the point of the legal process, is that you saying it was her that did it. That's not going to hold any weight. You know what I mean? So, so saying, if she did frame him like that, I mean, and that could come, it could have been a scorn, person. It could have been a relationship that went awry. There could have been more people. There's just so many different reasons.
It could have been none of that. There could have been somebody else that wanted to take Vince down. There could have been a higher power that wanted to erase Vince. And okay, this is what we're going to do.
And so Janelle is just a part of it.
Bro, stuff like that happens. People don't. This is the world we live in today, Chris.
Yeah, man. If you think of corporate drama, like this here, this is nothing, compared to so many other stories of corporate drama.
You always hear, man, people in power and people with money, you always hear, bro, when they want to get rid of you.
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to get rid of you, bro. Yeah. You always hear that.
Yep.
And I mean, this could have been a well-orchestrated plan. You don't know.
Yeah, it's like everybody has like that mafia boss in their, in their Rolodex, man. So here we go. We got Zubair once again. Kudos to Zubair, man, and expose how much of marks they are for stupid show, rather than someone's livelihood at risk. I mean, again, man, look. It's ridiculous for us to say Vince McMahon is guilty. The evidence is starting to be very stacked of the allegations, but at the same time, for the risk of slander, for the risk of defamation, I'm not going to say he's guilty because I don't know. So
I'm with you, Chris. I'm with you. I got to tell you, I got to give credit to one guy, man. Man, Laurinaitis has laid low from day. We have not heard anything from this
people power.
I mean, my God, did he move to another country? Like, you've not heard a peep from Laurinaitis.
Was the last time Laurinaitis was visible was the Bellas show, right?
Oh my God, bro! Like,
did he marry one of the Bellas' mom?
Did he marry her, or were they just dating? He might have married her.
But I think that they married, if I'm not mistaken, man. So I mean, look, again, if Laurinaitis is a part of this, man, this all makes sense of why he's been ghost. He's ghost town now, man.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll see if the Laurinaitis allegations are true as well. Rolling 999. Do you guys say the NDAs don't protect persons from doing criminal sexual acts? I heard that Miss Grant breached it because the NDA says $3 million hush money, and McMahon stopped paying her after only $1 million. Yeah, there's a clause in NDAs that doesn't protect from criminal sexual acts. Yeah. So now, if this does go to court, which will most likely, Vince's attorney, so the defense attorney could use this as a presentation. They could present this for sure. So, and that's the thing, like this here, if they find this to be true, this could be the one thing that would cause Vince to go scot-free. If there's any type of breach or loophole in there, and they see the breach to happen, you sign the NDA, you breach the NDA, and so there you go. But at the same time, the prosecution can also defend that it was breached because the sexual acts occurred, and it does cause the breach to occur with criminal sexual acts. So, I imagine that this is going to be it's on Law and Crime. I look at the Law and Crime YouTube channel a lot, and this story was already on there. So this is something that's going to be on like Court TV. I'm sure that this, from a public eye, which is again not a good look for WWE, because you're getting 1.5 million people watching their flagship show, but you're going to get 10 times more of that people watching WWE affiliated with this. So that's really not a good look for them at all. Trappy 499 super chat. Who do you think knows more than they claim regarding the Vince situation, if anyone? I'm sure that Vince Russo would not.
I'm sure there are two people without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of Triple H, number one, and Bruce Pritchard. Bro, Bruce Pritchard has been Vince McMahon's. What was remember in The Godfather? What was Duvall's role? A consigliere. Is that how you say it?
Yeah,
bro. Bruce has been Vince's consigliere for 30 freaking years.
Yeah,
for 30 freaking years, and that's why I think too, bro. I don't see him being at the WWE for much longer, because there is a history of Bruce smartening Vince up to everything. That has been a history for years and years and years. And if Ari, makes that connection that Bruce is going to be telling Vince what's going on in-house, he is not going to be working there, bro.
To your point, Vince, knowing Bruce, working with Bruce, I don't know Bruce. I've interviewed him before, but I have zero personal relationship with Bruce. So I don't know this. What I do know from other people who work in the wrestling business is that Bruce Pritchard has been like that plug for Vince McMahon, even for the past few years, since he hasn't been as much hands-on. Bruce is still that plug for him, and he has been for a long time. Do you think that even with Vince stepping away from TKO, he still wants Bruce to stay there to be that insider?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But I think Ari's smarter than that, bro. Bro, you saw Ronda Rousey already publicly said that.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
And she's right. I mean, my God, bro, they go back to, the 80s. Is it the 80s? I mean, they go back. It is the 80s. They go back forever, bro.
Yeah. Taval, $5. Would Vince tell talent when they were starting to fall off aesthetically?
Absolutely. That's a Tavo. That's a talent relations job. So that would have been JR's job, but absolutely 100%.
Yeah. What do you think it is, man? She's gotten like thick.
Not only thick, bro, but man, she's putting on a ton of makeup, and the makeup looks like caked on, and I don't know, bro. I don't know.
And she's young too. She's what, 32, 33, somewhere around here. I still think her and Sasha are around the same. Oh no, I think Bayley's probably 30, about around 30. It's a little older. I think she's around 36 or 7 now.
Yeah.
She's 34. She's 34. So she's still young, man. I mean, she'll be 35. She'll be 35 this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's nearly 35. So I mean, she's still young, man, and caking it up like that. No need, man. Embrace your inner beauty. Zubair, $5. Can we rant how these smarks complain, say the show sucks because, quote, the crowd sucked, as it's the crowd's fault the show sucks, and don't react to trash?
It's funny, bro, because I'm going down the Larry Sanders rabbit hole.
Oh, nice.
And every time Larry has a bad show, that's what Artie says. The crowd, if the crowd sucked, man, it wasn't you, it was them. Every time he's got a bad show.
Larry Sanders Show, man.
Oh, what a show, man! What a show.
That was great. What the heck did is Gary Shandling still alive, or is he?
He died, bro.
Did he really?
Yeah,
when did he pass
away? A couple of years ago, man.
Let's see. Gary Shandling passed
5 years, 10 years,
2016. Wow.
Yeah, a while ago.
Wow. He was 66, man. He died 8 years ago. Let's see. 999. Rock looked very old on ESPN First Take. Will it hurt Rock's reputation stock to still do anything on camera with WWE while this legal case with Ms. Grant is ongoing? Won't Rock be accused of sports washing? I think that The Rock actually would be better to be in this particular position, don't you think?
Well, bro, he's got skin in the game, man. He's on the board. He's on the board, man. So he's really in a tough predicament, because if it were me, I would want to be separating myself as far from this as humanly possible, man. And we may see that with, like, Cena and guys like that. But Rock's on the board now, man. So he's got skin in the game.
Yeah. I do think that if you do bring The Rock in to be a part of this, I do think, I mean, from what I understand sports washing to be, it's using an athlete or an event to divert attention from something else. And I do think that people could accuse him for that, but I don't think people are really thinking about that as a whole, though. Like, The Rock is sports washing, when it comes to this particular situation. I don't think so. I think The Rock has a name that's strong enough to divert the attention away, but I don't think it's purposeful, though. Zubair, $5. I also think the McMahon scandal was an awesome agenda to get McMahon gone from WWE, the people inside WWE, with all due respect. What do you think about that thought, Vince? Do you think that there's some truth to that?
I don't think people inside the WWE have enough power to make that happen. Ari does, but I don't think people inside WWE do.
Gotcha. Steve.
You got a question too, bro. Nobody's brought this up. You got to question Kevin Dunn's departure. Did Kevin know this was right around the corner? Interesting. You got to look at that stuff, bro.
Again, man, Super Sloop strikes again.
Steve loves freaking Italia. He's a huge
really.
Italian. Oh yeah.
Versus Kabuki Warrior's best part. So it's funny. He didn't even say Tegan Knox. He just said Natalia.
He's a huge Natalia and Cowboy mark.
Really interesting. Yes. Taval, $5 super chat. Anyway, this was a big insider trading play. Netflix moves to the stock 10 plus the next day. Negative news, $10 plus.
Wow, that's something, man, isn't it? That's something.
That is something.
They can't be happy about that.
Right. That's true, man. That's very true. I mean, man, that's that again. No, having a degree in PR, man. A lot of times the PR agent is much more to invest in than a lawyer, because cases come and go, man. And people forget about cases a lot. And, oh yeah, that person was arrested and went to such and such then. But that public eye, man, I'm telling you, that is what lasts for a long time. And once you become a black mark in the eye, or in the opinion of the public eye, man, it's hard to rebound from that for sure. Rollin 999 super chat. Years ago, when Ronda Rousey called pro wrestling, quote, fake fighting, online media dismissed it as a work. Now she uses the same tone to boost pictures of Vince's avatar. Thoughts on her comments?
Well, I mean, she's true. She's right. I don't think she had a great experience at the WWE, obviously, with the things that she said publicly.
Yeah. I think the money was probably good, and I think it was she's been a wrestling fan forever. You know what I mean? She's made it very clear that she was a Roddy Piper mark. I think it was kind of like a grass is greener effect for her, man. I think that she thought that it was going to be a lot better. You know, I think it was a good business move in her eyes away from UFC, because she was starting to get suicidal because she was losing, and, you know, she lost to Holly Holm in a Buster Douglas, Mike Tyson style, thing. And then she got just annihilated by Amanda Nunes. So that just really took her away from UFC, especially since she was that dominant role. The WWE was like a breath of fresh air to her, but it seems like her experience there was just like it really wasn't as what she thought, man.
No.
So, yeah. Young Reckless 499. So Triple H, Vince and Bruce is involved or found guilty, and TKO gets rid of them. Then who will lead WWE?
Paul Heyman, man.
You think so?
He could do this. He could do this at the scrums with the hand.
Gentlemen, so the whole thing says if Triple H and Vince and Bruce is involved or found guilty and TKO gets rid of them, then who will lead?
He will bring in Ari will bring in all new people.
Yeah,
that are his people.
Will it fall and crumble? Will Tony Khan win? No, I don't think it'll fall and crumble.
No, I don't think so either. No.
Rollin 999 super chat. I know that Vince Russo is not a fan of Seth Rollins, but today he channeled your Bash at the Beach promo by calling Roman's title the Hulk Hogan title that people use to politic to the top. Thoughts?
Yeah, I was thinking about that because when I watched it, I even wrote a note about that. And man, I can imagine Hulk sitting there. He would take great offense to what Roman.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
Yeah,
he'd be offended to that. Yeah. All right, let's. I'm gonna just go through the whole night and just give me some thoughts. Finn Balor and Priest defeating DIY. Priest calls out R-Truth post-match. JD attacks R-Truth.
We forgot a couple things. Let me go through it.
Go for it.
JD, jury duty locker room.
You're going to go through it, and people are going not understand half the names you say.
Jury duty locker room, bro. That acting is atrocious.
Okay, yeah.
All of them in that room are atrocious. Every single one of them, bro. And I am a big fan of Damian Priest. Their acting is atrocious. And to me, bro, a lot of that is on the producer. If it's not good, do it over and over and over again. Now, those weren't pre-tapes, right? I'm not sure. I'm
okay.
not sure, but they could have been.
Be. Yeah, they should.
Yeah, they could have been. Yeah. DUI had the little segment in the back since they were 5-year-old boys. They had a dream. Great. So is the dream over now, bro? Is the dream over? You lost the jury duty. Are we done with your dream since you were a 5-year-old kid? The dream is freaking over, bro. We have a segment where Priest calls out Truth. And they wind up getting heat on Truth. Everybody but Damian Priest. I think they're going to use Truth to make Damian Priest the babyface. I think that's where they're going with.
I said that a few weeks ago. I think that's going to happen. Yeah, I do see Awesome Truth. I predicted Awesome Truth versus Judgment Day at WrestleMania. I do think that's going to happen. I do think that probably the Raw or close to that, like Raw after Mania, they're going to have eventually Priest go away from Judgment Day.
Yeah. Then we got it's funny, bro, because we've got Chelsea Green and Nevin Piper, and now we're beating them to death, and we're giving Baylor and Zoe a series of wins, thinking that they're going to get over because they're winning wrestling matches. Okay.
Now here's my thought on this. I do think that this could work possibly. I think that this could work because what I want to see like a 4-way match at WrestleMania. I want to see Kabuki Warriors against Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler against probably Chelsea and Piper. But I want to see Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill team together. And I want them to win the titles in the 4-way match and just destroy everybody.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I talked about Cody and Seth promo where Cody cried again. We got Jey Uso over Bronson Reed. I don't know, bro. Bronson Reed is a special talent. He's a big dude. He can move. He's a freak of nature, and they just keep beating him and beating him and beating him and beating him.
And why do promos of saying there's a title that I want, and then he goes from a couple of weeks of saying there's a title that I want, then saying, "Oh, I want Jey Uso," then lose it, then lose against them.
Yeah. So. Then we go to the back. There was a Becky Lynch promo where she said really nothing. Yeah. We had Kofi and Gunther again.
Before that was the Andrade signing.
The Andrade signing.
Yeah.
Kofi and Gunther. You know Gunther's going over, so there was no need to watch this match.
Right, that's true.
Then we had the Kabuki Warriors against Natalya and Kagan Knox. We had whoop whoop.
Yeah.
Whoop whoop whoop. Getting their rematch next week. They'll lose the rematch, and then we're not going to see whoop whoop for a while. So whoop whoop's it's going to be done. Then we got the Bayley in. See, this is what I mean, bro. We got the Bayley in ring, and we have Nia Jax attack Rhea Ripley just to make that WrestleMania match. That's it. That's the angle, bro.
No. I don't. I think that they're going to do that in Perth. I think that they're going to do
okay, whatever. But that's the angle. That's the angle.
Yes. I think that they're going to do that in Elimination Chamber because they want Rhea Ripley, since she's an Aussie, to have that big, spot that it seems like it's insurmountable. If there's anybody, they'll do Nia Jax to get that heat on her. She's going to come in as the baby face in Perth anyways, and then it'll probably be Becky Lynch and Rhea Ripley.
Bro, you know what we should do? We should hire Chris Angel for the Elimination Chamber. And maybe we can put some of these wrestlers in the Elimination Chamber. Okay. And when we open up the chamber, they've disappeared and we never see them again.
Wow.
I'm for that. I'm for that, bro.
Special guest referee Chris Angel.
Oh yeah, Chris Angel. The chamber opens up. Nobody's in there. They're gone, bro, and we never see and hear from them again.
Very clever.
Then of course, I know we had this match between McIntyre and Zayn before because I cut the same promo before of why is this a 50-50 match, bro? When he couldn't beat him, when McIntyre couldn't beat him with that grease lightning from the top rope, or come on, bro! Like, how was that not the finish of the match? 160-pound Sami Zayn is kicking out of that. Oh my God, bro! Please,
he can't kick out the grease lightning, man. So yeah.
Oh my God, they had the same match because I remember I said the same thing. How is he going 50-50 with Drew, bro? Come on.
A few more super chats before we go. Cliffside 499. Crazy how the most compelling drama in the WWE has right now is outside the ring. If Rock Roman happens, how would Dr. Chris and Russo approach the story? Especially with all this going on now. I know that it's hard, man. Do you throw any of that in there with the Rock Roman story with TKO?
They would never in a billion years. I think how I would go about it, which they've never really done. Let's really get into the family history. Okay. Like let's understand how this all started and who these people and these players are. That's what I would really like to see.
Yeah, I like it. T-Bone, $5. Triple H's booking is making talent look like a bunch of wussies. Plus, I feel like he's giving Bayley too much creative freedom, and it's not working.
He loves Bayley, bro. He put her over to the moon in that press conference, and I was like, okay, bro.
I mean, but like you said it, man. I agree. I was thinking about the same thing. I mean, hey, man, she's put in the work, man. She's paid her dues, man. I'm not mad at it, honestly. I'm not mad at the decision. T-Bone, $2. Rather watch NCAA women's basketball than listen to Damage Control. I mean, at the end of the day, man, this angle between Bayley and EO is strictly for the house. I mean, like, from an outside standpoint, no one cares about this. But at the same time, the majority are the house that watches it. There's not a lot of outside fans or casual fans, at least fans who are going to want to come back the week after. So they're pleasing the house, by doing this feud, and that's the reason why they did what they did. So, Vince, let them know where to find you, my man.
Yeah, guys, if you've never subscribed to my Patreon, you can go there right now and get a free week of the brand. It costs you nothing. Just go to patreon.com/Russo TWC.
Very nice. This guy right here is Vince Russo. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Legion of Raw. Have a good night, everybody. Solo.
I like that. I like that angle. Very nice.